two great players here. Scott in the red corner and Matt in the blue corner. Now, Matt, we saw just last round on Grixis Reanimator. I wanted to put Scott on camera because Scott has just recently been coming to Impact in a consistent manner. So Scott had not been, he's just recently started coming. He'd been every now and then, but his schedule made it a little bit difficult. So I really wanted to give Scott the opportunity, since he's been doing so well these last few weeks, to be on camera, get to play and perform and have fun, and get to show off his skills. And he's been doing really well at really all of these FNMs. So really excited to put him on camera. He's been a Ruby Storm player. Last I saw, he was still playing with like Serum Visions and all that. So let's see what his deck looks like. But Matt, last round we saw on Grixis Reanimator, and he went crazy. He really just high rolled his turns, and he's just throwing out a Faithless Looting. Let's see if he can already find the reanimation targets to make life difficult for Scott. Yeah, that's a double Archon. That is really scary if you're trying to Scott's seat. Scott's just going to Mesa. He's going to go ahead and fetch. Now, I cannot tell you guys how appreciative I am to have the players that we have here. I mean, we have got a great group of individuals who are just here and playing Magic at Impact every weekend. We appreciate him greatly, just showing up, being here and wanting to play here at our store. It's a huge blessing. Alrighty, we're in a Steam Vents. Hey, we're on Preordain. It looks like Scott might have upgraded those Serum Visions. Let's go. Scott, I think he just looked at Runner. So looking at Scott's hand here, he has got a Reducer, another land, and a bunch of rituals, which is really good if you're Scott. The only thing he needs now are impulse draws and other such stuff. Now, Matt is going to go ahead and persist out in Archon. That's going to create some issues, but it shouldn't be anything too big. You see Scott has the Wish in hand, and he's got an impulse draw. So all Scott needs to do is find enough mana to go off. And with the Reducer and all those writs, he almost has it. The Archon is just going to be putting a lot of pressure on Scott's hand to make sure he has enough writs. I think that there is a world where Scott maybe could go off with that Manamorphose to just get that additional mana, but we'll see if it matters or not. So he's going to fetch out a mountain. Now, you guys will remember that I am not the biggest Storm fan. I do not really like Storm. I lost, and I came in second place in a brutal loss to a Ruby Storm not long ago, about a year ago. And then I started playing Gift Storm. So not quite Ruby Storm, but I've been on Gift Storm for a few weeks. And oh my goodness, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It didn't feel as simplistic as I always made it out to be. So newfound respect for Storm players. I hope you guys can forgive me for being short-sighted. With that, Scott is ready to go off. Matt is setting his hand down. Scott is going. So Scott does this the traditional way. No dice for him, as you may recall. You cannot record your mana or storm count or energy counters or any of that with dice. You are expected to write it down. So Scott stays true to that and writes it down. But Scott's going to lead on the writ, follow up with the medallion. Boom. He's going to follow up with another writ. And we're going to start impulse drawing. Oh, another. Oh my goodness. I mean, I was saying all he had to do was find the mana to go off with this wish. I think he found the mana to go off with this wish, folks. So this wish has a lot of targets. If I am Scott, I'm going to grab Past in Flames. That's what I would want off of my wish. Do the whole thing again, get even more mana, get that mana. Yeah, and Matt sees it writing on the wall. He's getting turn 2'd by Ruby Storm right now. There it is, Past in Flames. All right. We have got a game here, folks. So we are going to just watch as Scott shows off his Storm Masterpiece. He's going to go Rit. 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 He is just gaining so much mana. Holy cow. All right. Get him with another ritual, Scott. Ah, he's going to impulse draw before he throws out that Manamorphose. Let's see what he flips. Land and Medallion. All right. So, honestly, a bit of a whiff. Not the best to see, but that's okay. Another Manamorphose. Draw a card. Yebi's going to make that blue mana so we can start preordaining. He's got access to that Wish again. I don't know if Scott's playing Stormscale Scion or anything like that in the sideboard. I certainly would be. He just put Preordain in his graveyard on top of his Past in Flames. That should be an exile. Let's see if that matters. Scott's thinking. Scott also just... Okay. So, yeah, Scott's in a really solid spot right now. He has got a Wish with flashback on it. I'm going to pop over real quick and make sure he knows Preordain is an exile. Hey, Scott. Looks like I didn't miss too much getting up. Scott's still doing the math. It does look like it mattered. He was counting up what he was going to be able to do and considering casting that Preordain. So it was good that we got out there. He is going to get out there and get Wish going, and this is going to be huge. Scott's got all the mana in the world, and I don't know exactly what Scott has in his sideboard. Let's see. Some Into the Flood Maws, Scrape Shot. Stormscale Scion is the card I would want to see if I'm Scott. Well, we're going to Grape Shot to the dome. But I see what the plan here, right? We're going to Grape Shot. We're going to Past in Flames. We're going to Grape Shot again. Wow. What a quick game one. Let's kick it back to the booth. Wow. So Scott really having an explosive turn 2 win. That was remarkable. I'd also like to appreciate Scott for playing so clean and so organized. A lot of players in Magic right now, it's a personal pet peeve of mine. They're just really sloppy. It's hard to follow what's going on, especially when they're down there and I'm up here in the booth and trying to follow along with what's going on, help keep things clear for you guys. Scott does a remarkable job. He's really clear. He takes actions. He resolves all of his triggers and spells in the right order. He does everything really, really well, which is just fantastic to see. So Scott gonna pick up the first game of this match, even though Matt had a turn 2 Archon of Cruelty on the play, which might be just about one of the best plays you could have right now in Modern. So really, really good. Remarkable to see. With that, I am really curious to see what the sideboard plans are. I know Scott's running some Into the Flood Maws, and I have to assume those are coming in. Just be able to put those Archons back in the hand. And whatever. That is right. Oblong Osprey is indeed our very own Matt. Also, welcome to the chat, Sir Gaming Avengers. Happy to see you. Now, Matt's sideboard plan is pretty clear. He's running the spell pierces that he's going to need. Really, any form of disruption he's got access to, that's got to be the play. Scott's sideboard plan is a little more up in the air. Now, of course, when you play wish decks like Scott is, it is very frequent that that you don't have much sideboarding to do, right? That you have one or two cards that maybe you bring in, like a couple of copies of Into the Flood Maw, but everything else is there as a wish board, right? You don't want to lose your board copy of Past in Flames or Grape Shot or Mind Collapse, even, all things you really want to have. All right. We're shuffling up, about ready to get going. I am always really excited to watch these people play. Matt as well is always just such a pleasure to watch play or to play against. Just a really great guy, communicates very clearly. Just a lot of fun. So, you guys know the drill. Thank you for being here if you're watching on Twitch. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, thank you so much for taking any time out of your day to spend it here with us. Just don't forget to hit that subscription. Hit that bell so you don't miss the new videos we have coming out. We've got all kinds of content. We've got Magic. We've got Pokemon. We've got Lorcana. We got fighting games. You name it, we got it. Otherwise, you're liking any of these cards, like if you just enjoyed watching Scott go off on Ruby Storm, do enjoy hopping over to impactgamingcenter.gg and see if you can find some of those cards yourself. Otherwise, we got a lot of socials. We're out there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, X, YouTube. Find us, follow us. We've been posting a lot of reels and all that fun stuff. Just been a really good time. So we'd love to see you joining us there. And yeah, thank you so much. And if you want to pop by the shop in person, we're just outside of the greater St. Louis area. Fabulous at Fairview Heights. Otherwise, kicking it back to the players here, Scott has gone ahead and given us some expressive disappointment. I'm not sure if he made a mistake or kept a hand he didn't mean to, but I saw lands in a preordain, so it can't be too bad. Oculus into the bin. Matt's been really on fire with this deck today. He is just putting these very scary threats into the bin. Turn one constantly. Very scary if you are Scott. Hoping that maybe you could have just a little bit more time. Because storming off on turn two is really great, but not reliable. It takes a very specific hand to be able to do that. So Scott likely not going to be able to do it again here, but Matt may just put him in a place where he has to anyway, where he doesn't get the luxury to wait. So the good news for Scott here is he's holding it into the Flood Maw. That's going to be really important when Matt attempts to adapt this Emperor of the Bones to put this Abhorrent Oculus onto the battlefield. He can bounce the Emperor in response to the activated adapt, or in response to the triggered ability that lets him put an exiled creature onto the battlefield under his control. All of those will be moments at which Scott can strike with that into the Flood Maw and slow Matt down pretty significantly, as well as getting that Oculus into exile, so gone for good, which is really important when Matt's playing these kind of Reanimator strategies. So Surveil off Thundering Falls, Scott's going to think about it, and he is going to decide that ultimately he does not like another Impulse Draw. He puts it in the bin. Hey, there's a Reducer. This is all coming together for Scott. So this does put Scott in an interesting spot where he can throw out the Reducer, or he can hold up the end of the Flood Maw. He's going to opt to hold up the end of the Flood Maw and just pass it over. And personally, I like that play a lot. I think whatever slows Matt down is going to be the play to make. Now, Matt just top decked an Unearth, which is pretty disappointing for him because he wanted to unearth the Oculus, but he just didn't have it. So he opted to eat it with the Emperor of the Bones instead. And now it's appearing that he could have waited. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. Matt is going to fetch, and let's see what his plan is. So I'm looking at Scott's hand, you guys, and I'm seeing some preordains. I'm seeing Manamorphose, of course that Ruby, and all of this is really painting a picture that Scott needs mana, is what he needs. He needs rituals and rituals and rituals. The other thing that this hand is pointing out is that he has got 2 preordains. He has really good chances at finding what he needs. Matt is going to go ahead and eat the Ren's Resolve and go in for 2. Now, I think what Matt's going to do is he's going to opt not to adapt this Emperor of Bones for as long as he can and just continue to use it to eat spells from Scott's graveyard to try and lessen the impact of a Past in Flames. And he's going to shore that up with a Nile Spellbomb. So Scott, now forced to make a decision. I think you just Flood Maw this Emperor now so that you don't have to play around it. Yeah, just get it back to the hand. Get that Oculus out of here for good. All right. Okay, so Manamorphose is the top deck there for Scott. Very good. He does not have another land drop. So Scott has... Oh, he does. He's got a Sink into Stupor. Is Scott going to go for it? He might be able to. Yeah, Scott's going to go for it. Buckle in, folks. Let's see if he can do it. Soporific Springs. He's going to, lead up by trying to find some Writs. I think that's the right play. Ruby Medallion and Wish. Okay, well, he also needs a win con, so I believe he is going to keep the Wish, and then he's just going to deploy this Ruby Medallion, take his time. Big decisions, big decisions. Ruby Medallion, all right. So while Scott was not quite able to go off, he was really needing to see some mana off of that preordain, a ritual of some sort. He did stop Matt from having too much scariness going on. Matt just going to keep eating the graveyard of Scott to make sure that Past in Flames isn't going to be too good in that Nile Spellbomb as well. So it's really important that Scott just fully go off whenever he can. But I do think this is the turn. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but with the Reducer on the table, all these impulse draws, these preordains, those Manamorphoses are going to draw him cards. It's going to be really hard for Scott not to find a bunch of mana and get what he needs. I know I was saying it a bunch last game, but I'm right back on I want to see some Stormscale Scions out of the sideboard from Scott. I think that's the right look, unless he can get Storm up to where he can just Grape Shot. But we got some impulse draws going, and there's the mana. Yeah, so Scott found it. He found a Pyretic Ritual off that preordain, and then Ritual. So let's see what he decides to do here, but I think it's all coming up Storm. Scott doing some math. Now, this is why Storm players are legally required to bring all humor by the way, but are legally required to bring a coloring book for their opponent. Recently, it has been allowed to provide Storm-flavored coloring books. That is Realm Monsoon Mage with blue and red crown. If you can provide those to your opponent, then you are an acceptable Storm player. Now, yeah, Scott is just going off. I mean, he's doing the thing. Matt being a champ, keeping track of Storm count for him. Almost forgot to draw for that Metamorphose. Binds another Writ. Goes ahead and runs it off. Yep. What's the call? Is he going to wish now? All right, he's going to do it. He's going to wish right now. So, I don't think I saw a Stormscale Scion in Scott's sideboard. And I think that would be the perfect card to deploy right now. But let's see what Scott's options are anyway. Okay, some more impulse draws are good. Scott found a ton of mana off the top of his deck this turn. He still has not made a land drop, and he's got access to some impulse draws. So we're going to keep impulse drawing more mana. Hey, land drop for the turn. He is not going to fire it off yet. And he's going to pay for it immediately by top decking a land. That's unfortunate. But hey, that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. Yep, go for another. Another medallion and a land. Oh, man. Yep, it's time. Time to consult the sideboard. Oh, he does have a Stormscale Scion in the sideboard. I spoke too soon. Oh, my goodness. That is a card. How many copies of Stormscale are we making? Does anybody know? I mean, obviously the players know, but I lost count to Storm there for a while. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there are, I believe that says 19 dragons. So those Stormscales are huge. I believe they're at base 3/3, giving other dragons +1/+1. So those should be, he should have 20 dragons, all with power and toughness, 22/22. Holy cow, River of Tears, I have to agree. Matt was high rolling all day, especially last game, and it looks like it's Scott's turn to just find the absolute nuts and go crazy with it. Matt is staring down a bunch of Stormscales. He's going to push one, he's going to push another, but they don't die to pushes because their CMC is still 5. They're copies. And there it is. There's the handshake. Let's kick it back to the booth. Wow, what a remarkable game. Scott playing extremely clean. And I tell you guys what, Scott's 3-0. We have not seen him in the finals yet. So what I want to ask you guys, I don't want to make you guys watch the same deck too much if you don't want to. Can you let me know in the chat, do you want to see Scott in round 4? If you want to see me put Scott back on camera for round 4 with whoever his opposing 3-0 opponent is, we can do exactly that. And we'll see what he's got going on. I don't know who else is going to be 3-0 yet, but I had a lot of fun watching Scott play, and I know Scott had a really good time being on camera. He looked like he was really enjoying himself, and how can you not, right? Winning on camera is such a great feeling and great experience, so I am really happy for him. And with that, look at that. What a great game of Magic the Gathering. I'm telling you, man, they need to start making those ruby or those storm flavored coloring books, right? Get you that red and blue crown, and you just have to color in these Realm Monsoon Mages and these ruby medallions with the crowns they give you while they're busy doing their thing. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Do not go anywhere. Don't forget to let me know in the chat if you want Scott back on camera for round 4, if you want me to see if I can grab somebody else, who another set of folks who are 3-0. But otherwise, there we go. It's been a fantastic night of games so far. We really appreciate you guys watching, giving any amount of your time to us. If you liked watching Scott play Ruby Storm or Matt playing Grixis Reanimator, check out impactgamingcenter.gg, see if you can find those cards, build that deck for yourself, or come into the storefront, check us out in person, maybe even come play Magic with us at on Friday nights. We are just outside of the greater St. Louis area. You're going to find us in the beautiful, fabulous city of Fairview Heights. Otherwise, I just want you folks to remember that time is very limited, and you guys spending it with us is remarkable, and it means a lot. And I don't ever want you guys to forget how much we appreciate that you do that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick you guys over to our bumper video, get to see some of the games that we've had going on for a bit. But I am really, really happy to see how this has been going, and I appreciate y'all. You have a wonderful, sorry, let me restate. I'm accidentally giving you guys my sign off. You guys have a great little break. We are going to be back before you know it with round 4 to see some more great games. Thank you so much.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Alex here. We are live and in living color with round number 1 of our Modern FNM. Thank you all so much for joining us, especially if you are watching live and in living color on twitch.tv/Impact Gaming Center. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit us up each and every single Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we go live with our Modern FNM. It's a lot of fun. We got over 20 players. I'll get an exact number in the following rounds. But we got Team Impact player Kevin on Izzet Wizzlers, aka Izzet Wizards. I don't know why, Kevin, when you watch this after the fact, why you wanted me to call it Wizzlers. I don't know. But and then we've got Andrew on Esper Gorios. Andrew's a regular. He's here a lot. Does really well. Actually, top aided the standard RCQ we had over the weekend. So shout out to Andrew. But yeah, let's take a look at the action here. We've got Kevin with a Tamiyo in play and was able to lightning bolt Andrew's Tamiyo, so kind of stifling his ability to accrue card advantage in the early moments of this game. Exactly what Kevin wants to be doing, attacking with his Tamiyo and kind of shutting things down on Andrew's side. Kevin's deck is basically a Izzet control deck that plays Snapcaster Mages, Teferi, obviously. There's a Prismatic Ending going to take down Kevin's Tamiyo just as quickly as it came. It is gone. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure if you are watching live, you hit that follow button if you like what you're seeing. We've got 4 rounds of modern action tonight, as we do pretty much each and every single Friday. And if you are in the Midwest or St. Louis area, we are located at 49 Ludwig Drive in the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois. So come check us out. We got 20,000 square feet of gaming center greatness. We'd love to meet with you and game with you. If you can't hit us up, but you want to support the content, you can definitely subscribe here on Twitch and check out our other social media platforms such as YouTube. It's free to subscribe over there. We've got hundreds and hundreds of videos in modern and standard, and go check that out as this Psychic Frog is going to poke here, and Andrew's going to get to draw a card. But yeah, make sure to check us out on YouTube and, of course, all of our other social media platforms. We got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the client formerly known as Twitter. So go check us out on all of those. And look at this. We've got the SpongeBob SquarePants Island that is signed by the SCG commentators. Kevin was on camera a couple months back, countered a bazillion spells on camera with the SpongeBob counterspell. Quite frankly, the definitive counterspell, if we're all being honest with ourselves. And yeah, they were losing it. They were like, another one? It was great. But yeah. And he's explaining the story now. But yeah, we're having a good time tonight. We've got a ton of gamers gaming. We've got our Lorcana Fabled pre-release. So we got a nice, I think there's 20 plus playing that pre-release. We've got probably about 40 plus playing some Commander. Good vibes here. And Andrew's going to discard a couple cards here to ensure that the Psychic Frog will not die to Kevin's Lightning Bolt. And Kevin is in a bit of a pickle here. Really trying to rely on that Snapcaster Mage to take down the Frog, but unfortunately, no dice. Yeah, it might be it might be nice to attack there, Kev. But Andrew's doing a good job of keeping this Psychic Frog on the battlefield. Gonna crack that clue there that he did get to make. Sink into stupor. And the Ephemerate gonna bounce the Frog. And like I said, Andrew doing a great job here, keeping this Frog on the battlefield. We're gonna let that Ephemerate fizzle with no targets. So Andrew gonna draw his card. But yeah, how we doing tonight, chat? Hopefully we're all rocking and rolling. We are very close to 1,000 followers on Twitch. That would be incredible if we could hit it, what, maybe by the end of next month, maybe? That would be pretty sick. I gotta turn these guys up a little bit. There we go. Riddle me this, Batman. Here is Quantum Riddler, one of the newest additions to Modern. He's pretty big, and he hits pretty darn hard. And there's Quantum Riddler. For those that don't know, it's a 5-mana 4/6 flyer with Warp 2. When this creature enters, you get to draw a card, and as long as you have one or fewer cards in your hand, if you would draw a card, draw one card or more, you draw that many cards plus one instead, and it does stack. So it gets pretty nutty. Here's a... You're going to deny that on Kevin's side. Andrew trying to do the cheeky play where he ephemerates the Riddler and gets to keep it. But that's not going to fly on Kevin's side. Hey, what's up, River? How's it going? And Quantum Riddler for Mr. Kevin. So we've got dueling Riddlers. How you doing tonight? Did you get to go to FNM? Kevin saying how he's a turn behind on everything right now. Just get good, Kevin. You know, when in doubt, get good. All makes sense to me, says Kevin.
That wasn't clear. But I just, we'll uptick the team. Okay.
I'll block, says Kevin. Kevin says, do you want to discard your hand? Good, how are you, my friend? Yes, I did. Finish first. Hey, again, let's go. Shout out River of Tears in the chat for taking down their FNM. That is dope. What'd you play this week?
So it's like, go ahead or they just...
All right, so they're just going to bump and grind a little bit, but nobody's going to go to the bin. Under trap. Thunder, thunder. All right, here's Thunder Trap Trainer. Pretty darn good. Oh, what was the name of that card, chat, from back in the day where you look at the top 3 cards and get an instant or sort, or it's like maybe a non-land, or maybe it was an instant sorcery. This is a much better version of that card, though. All right, back to Andrew. Ephemerate Riddler. That's pretty rough. Augur of Bolas. You are correct. Thank you, Conflagrant. Appreciate that. I am, how do you say, not great with card names. If you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you know that. Otter of Bolas. Stop. That's awesome. And there's Teferi. Time, Ravla. We're going to sack the trainer to counter the Teferi. Not today, Zerg, says Kevin. You guys are playing way off to the side. I don't know what Kevin's singing. Stick to your day job, Kev.
What's your level for? Name. Sure.
Riddler goes down. Pass back to Andrew.
Work control. Work control. Not.
All right.
One turn short of everything. Glorio's target attack.
Oh my gosh. Andrew top decked the Goryo's Vengeance.
One turn short of everything. How are we feeling about attacks?
Yeah, how we feeling about Atraxa, Andrew says. Jeez. Probably not great, Andrew. He's probably really hating that. Yes. River of Tears says skill. Listen, sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good. Yeah, Kevin's going to call it here. Sees the writing that is just splattered all over the wall with Kevin's... Probably can't say that on Twitch or YouTube, but... All right, so Andrew going to pick up game number 1. We're going to kick it to the sideboard with your boy. And that's going to be that. That's what we're going to do. If I can get this to work right. All righty. What's up, everybody? It's your boy. No. What's up, everybody? Alex here with Impact. Hopefully you're digging the content thus far. If you are, make sure to follow. We do this every single Friday. And sometimes we do it other days, too. We're trying to get into swing of streaming our Pokemon tournaments. So that's pretty cool, I think. And then we also do RCQs, things like that. If you have any needs or wants for Magic the Gathering or other TCG or tabletop gaming needs, hit up impactgamingcenter.gg. We have a lot of cool stuff. Go check us out. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. They're fixing the life tools here. I'm going to give Kevin, I'm going to make him lose a life. See if he notices.
You can control it from up there too.
I'm just messing with him. Here, I'm gonna kick it back down there so you guys can see what I'm seeing. I got him at 7. All right.
This time you are. That screen says so.
Alrighty. So here we go. These guys are shuffled up.
I think I probably did it wrong. Which one? The one on regular.
But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Like I said, we do appreciate it. Looks like we got about 14 in the chat, I guess you could call it. Yeah, sure. Thanks everybody. We do appreciate y'all. If you are digging the content, though, hit that follow button. Don't be a stranger. Take your shoes off. Stay a while, you know? We will have some not mid-game, but like in between the intermissions, in between rounds, we will have past week's games playing. It will be new videos. I know everybody gets tired of the same old one. Hey, what's up, Rock Hard Abs? I mean, you know, I try. All right. So Andrew going to keep it. Sounds like he shouldn't based on his own analysis, but. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Andrew's going to mulligan against his better judgment, it would appear. Remember, Andrew did win game 1, so he's got a game to play with. Check the scoreboard real quick. Got about 30 minutes left. I don't want to jinx anything, but I think these guys can finish this match out in 30 minutes. One would imagine. Thundering Falls, going to get a little Chevelle action. Going to put a beautiful lightning bolt, Christopher Rush art, with the white border into the bin. $19. So we'll get a little fetch action going here. And a Meticulous Archive. I mean, these surveil lands are so good. Chat, what is your favorite land in Magic? What is your favorite land in Magic the Gathering? Let me know in the chat or in the comments section. YouTube never answers my questions. Y'all be muting me, don't you? You don't like this sultry voice of mine? I could commentate like an old-timey baseball commentator. He's gonna fetch here. Another Thundering Falls. I don't know. One-man booths are difficult. Urza's Tower. That checks out for you.
The best line.
You know, one I really like that I've not gotten a lot of opportunities to play with just because it's not as good as it once was is called Tendo Ice Bridge. Tendo Ice Bridge. It is a rainbow land, but you only get to use it for, I think, 3 turns because you have to sacrifice it. Basically, it enters the battlefield with like charge counters, and each time you tap. So, from a Vorthos standpoint, it makes sense. You're going over this bridge that is made of ice, and eventually it will break. I love it. So clever. So clever. Here it is. I'm gonna put it on screen for you. Oh, it comes in with a charge counter on it. Okay, so it only has 1 charge counter. Significantly worse than I thought it was. But you can tap it for colorless if you want. But you get to remove a charge counter from it. Then it makes 1 mana of any color. Really, really cool. Awesome art by the legendary artist Rob Alexander, too. Phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. Kev gonna fetch for an island. I love utility lands, like the corner case utility land. The original Beseiju, very, very cool one. Although that card led to many games of me losing, but still very cool.
They are my problem.
All right, gonna counter it. Kev, you got any aggression here? Can we stick a threat? Gonna play the land version for 3 mana, 3 life. And Andrew's gonna get his turn back.
There we go.
Choosing 1 is backbreaking. Oh, one land? Or is that what you're talking about? A little bit of a delay between chat and, there's a little bit of a latency.
Get yelled at by YouTube.
Andrew's saying getting yelled at by YouTube. Don't worry. You'll both get yelled at by YouTube. YouTube comments are undefeated. Back to me, says Kevin. Yeah, it's difficult.
I played Marshall.
Sorry, I was scanning across the deck list to see if I had any trends across the decks. That makes sense. I think if you'd asked me this like 10 years ago, I'd have said Celestial Colonnade. Just because I played that card a ton back in the day. It has since fallen out of favor, you could say. I really like Lotus Field. That's a really fun one. I've played Lotus Combo in Modern and in Pioneer. A decent amount. I need to get on Arena and play it now that you can actually play it on Arena. There's a shock from Andrew. Play a black. Tap a black for Thoughtseize. Counterspell.
Counterspell. I wish.
Yeah, just a bunch of counterspells.
Oh, God.
You might want to just take the Snapcaster Mage here to reduce the redundancy.
I only have 1 counterspell.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that says counter target.
Love the Triomes. The Triomes are sweet. I think I like the Surveil lands more than I like the Triomes. But the Triomes are very cool, and I'm very happy they exist. I wish that they were all called Triomes instead of the nonsensical naming conventions that Wizards so brilliantly gave us.
Go ahead.
Hey, Kevin's gonna get a turn. Playing face up like a gentleman. Pass back. Got 2 5-color EDH decks, and each play a full flush of tricycle and no bicycles. That makes sense. Yeah, the tri-lands are great because they can be fetched. Obviously, we all know that, but especially in a 5-color deck, they're pretty much stock, I would imagine. Ooh, all right. We're warping out a Riddler. Drawing a card. Tameo. And Riddler gonna go to warps out. Bolt Tameo. Shock myself. Another Tameo. Or rather, a Tameo of his own. I honestly never put Surveils in my modern Zoo deck. Tricycle, Shock, Fetch feels too good. I mean, Surveils are great if you're not playing a hyper aggro deck, I think. But I think and just me, right? Just one man's opinion. If you are playing modern or any format that has fetches, throwing one in, one or two in, even.
Yeah.
The amount of times it's going to come up on turns 1, 2, or 3, not very likely, especially if you only have one in a 60. Where it's going to actually matter, right? Because you're going to have other lands, you would imagine. So, I don't know. I like them. I think they're really good. Being able to set up your draws is pretty powerful. But I understand in an aggro deck. Might not want them. I mean, you got the tricycles, though. Those intertapped. Although Zeus, I don't know. I'm talking to myself, obviously, but... All right, we're going to get in there. Going to block. Keep 2 and blink. That makes sense. Flame of Anor. Oof. This is a good... Deal 4, draw 2. Are the modes for Kev. Xander going to do something? Nope. That'll just... Tameo gets to flip, too. Pretty big turn. Does Andrew have something here? Andrew's going to allow it. Okay, so Tameo has officially flipped. Don't think I've showed Tameo. Goryo's targeting Atraxa. This must mean I'm disgusting. There's a counterspell, though. Kev has that legendary, iconic to him counterspell with the SpongeBob meme on it. 1 Triumph, 2 Shock. 1 Triumph, turn 1 Triumph, turn 2 Shock with Domain online. Makes sense. But yeah, there's Tameo, Seasoned Scholar.
I do draw 2. It's like, do I want to like high roll it for white mana and commemorate it? Oh no, it's on the field. Yeah. Offense.
So Quantum Riddler back at it like a Craftmatic. No free shoutouts.
What is up, everyone? We are back. We are getting into the final round of the night, and we are going to have a lot of fun. Thank you so much for sticking around through our reruns for some of those videos. We're actually going to be posting up a 2-1 match tonight because our two undefeated players they're splitting and going home. Turns out they've got families, people they love and want to spend some time with, so they were getting out of here before it gets too much later. So hey, fair enough. Thankfully, we've got plenty of players who would love to be on. So we are going to get all this information updated, and we'll kick it back over to them. Otherwise, I appreciate y'all being here, for staying, watching our stream tonight. It means so much to us. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, thank you greatly for doing that as well. Means the world. Otherwise, what I want you folks to do is just kick back, enjoy this content as much as you can. It's our last game of the night, and we couldn't be more excited to be getting it going. So the players are shuffling up now. I'm going to go ahead and kick you guys down to the battlefield in just one moment. I just need to finish updating the information. How do you spell necrodominance? There we go. All right, let's kick you down to the battlefield. Players are getting going. They're going to go ahead and roll. Woo. Anyway, I apologize, folks. I feel like I've been coming in, sliding in sideways, hair on fire, trying to get this stuff running tonight. So, anyway, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for being here. We put out all kinds of content. Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Lorcana. We've got fighting games going up on the channel, what have you. So do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel. See what we've got going on. Follow us on our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch, YouTube. I mean, you name it, we're on it. Otherwise, you like these cards? I know Dan always plays something super exciting, super different that you won't see anywhere else. And if you want to try and do something similar, or if you want to follow up on Ben's Necrodominance deck, check out these cards at impactgamingcenter.gg. See if they've got what you're looking for. Otherwise, looks like Dan is on the play, and he has already had a very explosive start with the classic Bauble Darksteel Mox Opal. But what is this? A new challenger enters the arena. A new hand touches the beacon. It is Ragavan Nimble Pilfer, played off of the red from Mox Opal. Not entirely sure what just happened. Dan picked up the Ragavan, and then it got inquisited away. All right, Urza Saga is the play here for Dan. But I take it back, he dashed the Ragavan with the Opal. He did the good old yeah, dash on that Ragavan on turn 1. Yeah, thank you, Jonas. I appreciate that. Yeah. So he did indeed dash it, which I have not seen a turn 1 dashed Ragavan before, but I suppose I have now. So the more you know. Now, Dan is oddly enough in a decent-ish spot. The part that's awkward here is that his Mox Opal is... No, his Mox Opal's online. He's got the treasure. So Dan is going to be able to just start pumping out Constructs, and that is difficult to deal with. I mean, whatever deck you are, that is hard to deal with. So Ben's angle here is, I mean, seeing two Words of Sagas, you're probably not going to be fighting through that. You're going to look to slam a Necrodominance and just Soul Spike your way to the win. So let's see if Ben has it. They're counting up some mana. Decisions. We're thinking. All right, there it is. Dan is going to make a dude. There's the construct. We're going to count again, making sure we know how big that construct is. We've come to the determination that that construct is a 4/4, which means killing it with this March of Wretched Sorrow is going to be rather difficult, but not impossible. March of Wretched Sorrow, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very interesting. So Dan is gonna respond with a Shrapnel Blast. That reads to red and a colorless. Sacrifice an artifact, deals 5 damage to any target. And he just sacrificed his own construct and threw it for 5 damage. That is pretty substantial, especially considering Ben is at 8 life now and is playing Necrodominance. Life is really, really important right now. Lava Spur Boots is a great card to pick up here for Dan. He's currently showing 1, 2, 3, 4. Pyrite Spellbomb says 5? Yeah. 5 artifacts. That's going to be 6 damage to Ben. So this is really impactful because all of a sudden Necrodominance doesn't really do what he wants and Pyrite Spellbomb throws for 2 damage. Ben is just dead on the next turn. Let's see what his options are. I mean, he's got the Necrodominance, but a little late now, right? So he's going to go to his end step. He's going to pay 1. He's going to draw 1. And it's not going to get him out. We're going to go to game 2. Wow, what a really, really fast game. I guess we are just looking to get you folks to bed on time tonight. Get you guys the right start to your weekend. Otherwise, really interesting play there from Dan. If you guys aren't familiar with Dan on camera yet, he's always playing these very unique, very interesting decks. And this is just another one of his brews that he's come up with. Very neat. He is really focusing on the burn and aggro side of Affinity, playing the Galvanic Blasts, the Lightning Bolts, the Shrapnel Blasts, really looking to just deal as much damage to his opponent's face as he possibly can. And you know what? I respect it. You know, it's a good strategy. So, yeah, they're talking over how that game could have gone differently, or maybe what Ben should have done differently there. But I think Ben just found the Necrodominance a little bit too late. If he found it earlier, he can perhaps draw a ton of cards, do things, but it wasn't the case. It's not how it went. So regardless, here we are. I think we're going to see this be a pretty classic matchup with the kind of combo versus aggro, where Dan is just going to try and combo off before... I'm sorry, other way around. Dan is going to try and kill Ben before Ben can combo off. The big problem here is that Dan is going to be heavily favored in this matchup because Necrodominance is so reliant on the life total at time of going off. And it can hamper their ability to sink a bunch of life into Necrodominance to go find their soul spikes and their marches of Wretched Sorrow. If they're only, you know, as we saw that game, if you're at 2 life, you can only draw 1 card off Necrodominance. So it's going to apply a lot of pressure to Ben to play carefully, play properly. Otherwise, Really excited to see how the rest of this game goes. Ben's deck is stacked to the brim with removal, and we saw it be almost enough to deal with those constructs and the Ragavan, and I guess the Ragavan was taken by that Inquisition of Kozilek, but you get the idea. Let me update this here. I didn't realize this still says round 3 of 4. We are on round 4 of 4. There we go. Alrighty. So, hey, thank you guys for watching. We're coming up. This is our very last game of the night. I hope you are as excited as I am to be watching these. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us for a little bit more Magic the Gathering to end out your day. It's always so much fun getting to play Modern and be in the booth here and commentate some Modern. It's just such a fun, diverse format. And I'm really loving getting to just see, players like Dan who've got these really unique deck lists all the time. They're really pushed the limits of the Modern format right now. They really require you to be the kind of decks that really make you think about every possibility, because you've never seen Shrapnel Blast before today, and it mattered a lot today. Now, I think one of the reasons why we can see interesting stuff like this with Affinity all the time is just the existence of Mox Opal allows for so much fast mana. And that's, I mean, hey, you guys know how I feel about fast mana. I'm not shy about it. If I become president of Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro, tomorrow I'm banning all fast mana. That's not to say ramp, right? But Moxen, they gotta go. They gotta go. At least out of Modern, right? We can decide on a format they live in, but I tell you what, they don't live in Modern. All of that said, Angry Man yells at clouds aside. Yeah, thank you for watching on Twitch. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, thank you very much. Just go ahead and subscribe. Take a look at all the content that we are always posting. We've got so much stuff there. We do Magic, we do Pokemon, we do fighting games, we do Lucana, this, that, and the other. We've got all kinds of stuff. So check it out. You're sure to find something that you like. Otherwise, if you like these cards that you're seeing, if you're enjoying watching Shrapnel Blast get played, if you want to check out ImpactGamingCenter.gg, see if we've got the check out ImpactGamingCenter.gg, see if we've got the cards there, or pop into the storefront, see if you can find them here. We're located just outside of the greater St. Louis area, fabulous city of Fairview Heights. And my favorite thing to always tell you guys is the time's limited, and I appreciate you so much spending any amount of it here with us. It is really precious. And it absolutely makes my day. I can't describe how important it is to us that you spend any amount of your time, whether you've got us in the background just running while you're doing something, while you're working, while you're gaming, whatever you're doing, or if you're actively sitting down and watching us. Regardless, we value having you here and making us a part of your day, a part of your routine, and I just appreciate you a bunch. So all that sentimentality aside, let's take a look at the battlefield. Players are resolving mulligans. I believe Dan has just mulled to 6. Yep, Dan has mulled to 6. Ben kept his 7. So Dan's also playing Corey Steelcutter, which is just a really great way to put pressure on life totals. And that's what Dan's deck is all about, just infinite pressure on life totals. Well, off to the races. Ben says, swamp go. Dan says, mountain go. Much slower start this time. Ben's got a swamp. He's got a Dothy Voidwalker. Great card. Dan's going to get that Corey Steelcutter going. And out goes spell number 2, trigger. In you go. All right. Off to the races. We've begun. Yep. In for 3. Dothy Voidwalker beats. Oh no. Ben caught on 2 mana. Let's see if Ben's got a plan to get out of this. But I think being short on mana is just a really big problem. Oh, experimental synthesizer. It's going to let him exile a card and play it this turn. He's going to trigger both of his Quarry Steel Cutters. Oh my goodness. And we're just counting up the damage. Experimental Synth finds Mishra's Bauble, which we cast. Yep, Prowess triggers on the table. Well, hate to say it, but Ben, it's now or never. Missing that land drop might have been a big deal. But your life total's under pressure. We're not feeling good. Yep. All right, he's got double push. That's certainly the best possible way to use or to respond after missing a land drop. Push, push. He's going to Soul Spike, pitching Soul Spike, Shieldred, deal with the other one. Yeah, Ben really going to protect his life total. So I think that's the right play. What I think that tells me is that I want to say this must mean Ben is on is holding a Necrodominance, and Ben's hope is to keep his life total protected as best he can, find that third land, and do the thing. So Ben's still not seeing it, I don't think, unless he just wants to go to combat first, but yeah, and he sends it back. Tough place to be, Ben. All right, let's see. Now, no doubt Dan's going to be able to cast 2 spells and get these monks right back. I'm not even sure what that card is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check it out. Meow. Oh, weapons manufacturing. That allows you to make the munitions tokens. And the next one we just read was the Legion Extruder, I believe, which makes 3/3 constructs. So Dan going to be making a lot of dudes this game. All right, Ben. I think it's now or never. I think you got to hurry up and find that land. He does. Fell the Profane, which he's going to play tapped. Now, all of this is hinging on whether or not Ben has a Necrodominance in his hand, which I have just been guessing about. I have no idea if he does or not. But if he does, this game could look very different very quick. It just depends on how much pressure Dan can put on his life total. Because if Dan can do enough to Ben, then the Necrodominance doesn't really matter. He's just not going to be able to draw enough to make it matter. But if Ben cannot, if Dan cannot pressure Ben's life total too heavily, then it will mean that Ben's Necrodominance is online. Third, Quarry Steel Cutter. Oh my goodness. Quarry Steel Cutter's going crazy. And there is Ragavan. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so oh no, March of Wretched Sorrow I think would have been a really good top deck for Ben to help stabilize his life. But it's a Disruptor Flute. It's not going to do it. It's going to cast it. It's going to pass. Back to Dan. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh dear. Magus of the Moon. Galvanic Blast. Oh yeah, there's the Fist Bomb. Holy cow. What a quick set of games. My goodness. One right after the other. I told you guys we were going to be putting you to bed just in time, getting you out of here at a reasonable hour. My goodness, that was a lot of fun. I hope you folks had as much fun watching these games tonight as I had commentating them. It was always a blessing and a blast to be here in the booth with you guys. I just want to say thank you guys if you've been watching on Twitch. If you are watching after the fact on YouTube, thank you so much. Give us some subscriptions there. Give us some of those Bezos bucks. If you're an Amazon Prime member, we'd love it if you could do that for us. Otherwise, we're coming up on the weekend, and what I want you folks to do, have a rejuvenating, relaxing weekend. And assuming you're not working on the weekend, assuming you work during the week, um, do the best you can to relax, spend some time doing the things that you love with the people that you love, and just remember your time is limited, and any amount of it that you get to spend here with us is such an honor and blessing for us to be able to do that for you. And I just hope that we can always live up to the expectations, content that you folks want to be seeing. Otherwise, we're all over socials. We got Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, obviously, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. We've got all the platforms. So yeah, if you want to check us out or check out our website at impactgamingcenter.gg, see if you can't pick up some fantastic cards or other such sealed products, board games, whatever you're looking for, we've got it. So I just hope you folks have a stellar rest of your night and a fantastic weekend. And with that, that is Lincoln signing out. Good night, folks.